Hi guys, Alex Fortey here, The Art of Simple Golf. Now, about 4 days ago, I played about 4 or 5 holes with a gentleman named Joe. And he did a little sort of testimonial clip just after we walked off the last green, just confirming how euphoric he suddenly found golf. And I'm not saying this to impress upon you, like, well, hey Alex, you're amazing. It's nothing about that. The point is, this game is difficult. Now, The Art of Simple Golf is not here to say golf's easy, but there is an art to making it more simple so you can get more enjoyment and better results. As soon as you make it like how the industry has made it to be, about positions, about trying to hit it hard, about trying to contort your body, how it's supposedly made to, or how it's supposedly required to hit good golf shots, like the tour pros, whatever it might be. But Joe, the day before we played, shot a 92, and we were chatting on the range. He saw me hitting a few balls, and we were chatting on the range, and I gave him a couple of pointers, and he said, can we go out for a few holes? And I said, okay, sure. I had enough time for about 4 holes. And we went out there, and you know, when I play golf with someone, I don't hound them with technique or something. I just observe for a couple of holes and give them a couple of pointers that might make life a little bit easier. Now, what Joe was doing is not rare. He was basically playing golf how probably about 80% of people try and play golf. He plays off 15, but he was very tense. And his setup, there's tension built in it. You know, there's almost anger, but he wasn't an angry person, but there was anger about trying to hit at this ball to generate speed. He would then whip his hands in and then come over the top. But even there, I didn't mimic it properly because he had no lower body movement, and he'd finish like this. It was really a hit and miss, literally, about the consistency he was going to get. And he didn't understand how he could suddenly shoot 92 and be that bad. It's just like nothing was right. So I made it, I'm not going to keep waffling on, but I made it so simple for him, and I'm going to try and demonstrate his swing for you. Okay, so he's here. And there's a reason why I'm pausing like this. Okay. I mean, to be fair, that result was actually not bad at all. That's probably gone about 250 straight down the middle. But that's, you know, considerably less than what I like to accomplish. And it created effort. So there was 3 things that he was doing wrong there. 1, he stood over the ball, there's just too much tension, okay? And he just froze over every single shot, not just his drives, but with his irons, his hybrids, everything. It was freezing, and I didn't even ask what was going on in there, but all I know is it wasn't good. And then the swing was jerky and forceful to try and get that distance. So we made it easy. I gave him some simple tasks. It took a couple of holes to kind of get through to him, but one, he was never really lining up. He didn't, you know, I was like, where are you hitting? He was like, oh, down the fairway. You have to tell your brain a very specific objective of what you're trying to do. You draw your line, your shot shape that you want to hit. Even if you've never been confident hitting a draw, if you want to hit a draw, tell your brain that that's what you were trying to do. So you draw your line all the way back. You've got your intermediate point. You set up over that intermediate point. Your mind is now here. You've got that feeling of that, let's say a draw in this case, over that target. You've got that feeling right there. So then your setup, does that match that? Does my swing match that? And I was explaining to him, as he whips it inside, that's not going to match it. So basically it was try and I mean, it takes a bit of practice to get that, but it was like, okay, let's try and get you focused more on the target and setting up and swinging to that target. The second one was the tempo of the swing. His swing, as I said, was very jerky. So what we did, I was like, you know, swing slower, and he was still like this. I was like, no, swing slower, more strain free. And what he actually did, I stood on the tee next to him and I said, copy me. And maybe if you can, just grab a club, get out of your chair right now, even with just your hands. And I want you to mimic the pace of this swing. So 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Everyone I do this with is always gets ahead. Even he was getting ahead. But that's how fast a golf swing can be. So you try and smooth it and allow the body for the legs to come through a lot more into a nice finish. That's what we were working on. So smooth into a nice finish and release down there. Not staying rigid and blocked and finishing like this. It was just smooth all the way through. So that was pretty much it. It was choose the target. It was don't freeze over the ball so much, and then it was allow the legs and the body and the club to feel the weight of the club for a nice smooth golf swing. And you know what happened? He was hitting it honestly like 20 yards further, maybe even more, right away. And we did like 3-4 holes. He did pars. He was just striping it. It was euphoric, and it was so enjoyable to see that transformation. I've seen it lots of times before, but it was the most recent one where I just played with someone and it happened like that. And he texted me 2 days after just saying, you know, it's still going great. I'm loving it. The hybrids were smooth. He's just really loving it. So please follow those rules. Choose your target. Okay, so choose your target. Don't freeze over the ball and just be smooth. That's it. Enjoy it and put it into action. And I'll see if I can too. So, there's my target. Don't freeze and smooth. If you want to learn more about your instinctive golf senses, all I want you to do is go to theartofsimplegolf.com/instinctivegolf, and you can learn more about tapping into your own instinctive golf swing to hit the ball further, straighter, and have better scores every single time you play.